everybody, our special guest of the evening,
Oh, special.
super personal trainer, very interesting young lady, and a wonderful team ambassador for Dive Bar Nutrition, Emily Ihnen. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. That was a very nice intro.
I try to let everyone know, what they're in for, in a good way. Um, Emily, you are in Missouri. Is that what you just told us?
We are, yes. We're in Missouri right now.
Okay.
We travel around, so that's our current location.
So give me a quick brief, give me the Cliff's Notes. Where are you from? If somebody says, what's your home state? Where's home? Give me the 30-second, 60-second, backyard picnic barbecue. You meet a friend of a
Yeah.
cousin, their new boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yeah. So originally from Wisconsin, actually. Grew up in Wisconsin my whole life. Like central Wisconsin. The town is called Baraboo. Um, and my husband is actually a travel nurse, and he got into that a couple years ago. And I was at home because I was working in a gym at the time. Um, and then we just kind of decided we didn't want to be apart any longer. So we decided to uh, buy a huge, huge fifth wheel. It's crazy. And hit the road. So we were in St. Louis for a little while. And then now we are in by Kansas City. And then we're hoping to be near Phoenix, Arizona in by August, hopefully.
All right. So is that just a travel goal or is there anything in Phoenix? What's the drive to?
Yeah, so we've kind of always wanted to go, obviously, somewhere warmer. Wisconsin is not a very warm place most of the year. And we are not winter people. We don't like snow. We are very much summer, warm weather people. And my family used to go to Arizona. And then about, I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago, our best friends moved to Phoenix.
Oh,
And so we have been very sad and missing them ever since. So we're kind of hoping to get out there. I don't know if it'll be permanent or if we'll keep traveling because traveling's pretty cool too, but we'll see. It's all up in the air.
all right. Well, very cool. I have to stop my ADD because I'm going to ask you like this could be 60 minutes of RV life and
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued. But
Yeah.
tell us about your fitness journey and again, I don't know much about you. You're an enthusiastic team ambassador with Dive Bar, but
Yeah.
did you get into training uh, as an adult? Were you a teen student? Were you a teen unfit non-student non-athlete? I said student. Um,
Yeah.
tell us the background. When did the health kick and the fitness begin?
Yeah. So I actually, I mean, I was never necessarily an unhealthy child. I was outside and very active and stuff, but like not into sports. I wasn't like in the gym lifting weights. I did not do any sports at all. I rode horses a little bit. So never as a kid wasn't really into that, but my whole family was really active. My dad and brother were into like football and wrestling and all these things. And then I don't know, I think it was like my early 20s. I just started lifting with a friend and got really into that and enjoying it and just started to delve more into how important it is for us to be doing that as we age and how much it's important, like beside the aesthetic reasons, how important it is for us to be a healthy body weight and also just eating healthier than I used to eat and also building strength as we age. So, um, just kind of became something that was really interesting to me. And it wasn't always my career. I went to school for actually occupational therapy. So I worked in nursing homes for about 5 years in the activities department. So kind of um, working with quality of life of individuals, a lot of them with like dementia care and stuff like that, which was great, but it was high burnout emotionally. Um, and I just kind of realized that I still wanted to help people, but I wanted to do it in a different way. And then I just decided to go for it and got into training. And then I got hired at my home gym in Baraboo. Shout out to Pulse Fitness. They're like the best gym in the area. But I worked there for about 3 years with a really highly skilled elite level of trainers and like learned a ton from them.
Cool. How
Yeah.
is the training experience? I'm going to call it RV life while
Yeah.
living the RV life. Are you training remote? Are you utilizing apps? Are you connecting with people in each and every town that you go. Now have you like a Johnny Appleseed of fitness. You roll through town, you whoop everyone into shape.
Bring all the people.
Yeah. But what is
So
the
actually,
current state?
yeah, so actually, when I was kind of getting into this idea of wanting to go on the road with my husband, but I really didn't want to give up my passion, the owner of Pulse Fitness, we kind of sat down and he helped me kind of figure out what I could do, and we ended up going into business together. And I opened my own online virtual training business called Body Freedom Coaching. So it's all virtual. I offer like one-on-one nutrition, programming. I have an app where people can see like how to do each exercise, and it's all custom. I do like check-ins weekly with my clients. We sometimes do Zoom if we need to chat about something. Otherwise, we use WhatsApp and stuff to chat back and forth, and they send me progress photos. I write out custom macros and nutrition information. We have little fun challenges. So it's all totally done virtually. And it's been really fun. It's different. It's very different than in-person training because I can't, have my hands on a client the way I can when I'm in a gym with them in person, but it has a different flow to it. It's very much empowering those people to, take their health into their own hands. And I'm there to guide them and help them and be their cheerleader, but they really have to, um, you know, step up and do a lot of it themselves without me there in person. So that's been really cool to see. And I have some really great clients right now that are just absolutely killing the game, and that's really fun. So I love it.
Awesome. What is the um I'm always being cautious or sensitive to like, Privacy Act and people's general privacy, but I don't think this is a infringing question. What is the general profile of someone who you might work with? Is it because I was a trainer, turn it
Yeah.
around and make a U-turn after 25, 30 years of really not giving a darn about myself to
Yeah.
the wedding is in 3 months and I want to drop 9 pounds or dress size or
Yeah.
two, whatever the heck. So what do you find yourself assisting in, if that's the
Yeah.
right term?
Um, so when I was an in-person trainer, it was literally everything. Like I had the range of, you know, clients that were really focused on fat loss, clients that really wanted to build muscle strength and get into powerlifting. I trained some clients into what we call the 500-pound club, which is um, your bench, deadlift, and squat equaling out 500 pounds for women or 1,000 for males. So I had some of those. I had a 70-year-old woman who was a retired nurse who wanted to go hiking in Africa. So I was training her to be able to do
Wow.
that. I had a younger kiddo who is on the autism spectrum, and his parents just wanted him to get some movement. So like I had everything back in the gym. Now on the road, it's a little different. It's very much, for the most part, it's clients who are looking to usually have a fat loss goal and then as well as a muscle build or a strength goal, and just a lot of just wanting to make lifestyle changes and just be kind of that typical lifestyle change client. It's kind of what I'm getting more so now. Age ranges kind of vary, usually 20s to I have some clients in their 50s, so very wide range in that sense. I do have both male and female clients. Majority is female because I think we just tend to gravitate towards other female trainers, but I do have a couple male clients too, so definitely um, open to working with pretty much anybody. What I don't do are like specialized coaching stuff. Like I trained and went through coaching and did a bodybuilding show. I did the bikini division, and it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And I'm glad I did it, but I would not take on a client and coach them through that. I feel like you need to have a very specialized approach to that. And
Mm,
it's just not kind of my thing. And I don't do like high school athletes just because that's not my bread and butter. So,
right, right.
yeah.
Um, Going back a minute ago, you said the 500-pound combo lift. So you go,
Yeah.
and as you said it, I'm going bench, bench, deadlift, squat.
Uh huh.
And I'm like, oh, I think I could do the 500. And you go for females and 1,000 for male. I'm like, ah, shoot, I'm out.
Yeah. No,
Um,
you could get there. Just take some training.
yeah. No, I was thinking about my prime. So like when I was in the gym 6 days a week. I'm like, I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think, but maybe if you
Sorry, I
train
got
me for
some dogs coming in the house behind
the
me.
specific lift. Oh, are the pups there? The dogs are in? Is that what you said?
Yeah, sorry, my husband just let my dogs in. They must have been getting naughty outside. Sorry.
Um, you mentioned the age-old interests or goal, we'll call it. Folks come to us as trainers. I want to lose weight. I want to build muscle, and then many of them want the combo package. What do you find? And this is like the jury's out, right? There's
Uh-oh, you cut
books
out a
this
little
way, there's
bit.
books that way.
There you are.
But what do you feel that a person should work on? One, there's the traditional get your strength and then have a X amount of week diet and cut. I saw you had a bodybuilding competition. So there's definitely, a real legit weight cut. Can somebody kind of do both or and I hate to I don't believe there's a right or wrong. I kind of think there's a spectrum of whatever you want to make of life. But what's your technique or what do you advise people? Do you like to do one before the other or kind of have both things running in tandem?
Yeah, you cut out a little bit during that, so I
Oh,
only heard part of it. But you can definitely lose body fat and gain muscle mass at the same time. But it takes very, very dialed in nutrition and training regimens. And it's all going to depend on where the person is at, kind of in their journey when they first come to me. If they've been like chronically dieting and under eating for a really long time and they're like not seeing results, we're usually going to reverse diet them back up to higher calories and get them to their maintenance. And then from there, we can kind of either go into a cut if they're looking to lose body fat, or we could go into a bulk if they really want to put on some mass, or kind of a combination. But it's very, very much dependent on the client and where they're at and what their goals are and what kind of biofeedback I'm getting from them in the first month or so of working with them. But yeah, you definitely can do both at the same time. It's just going to take very, very dialed in and kind of strict nutrition specifically, as well as training with really good intensity.
so now I have this is good because each question kind of leads to another question.
Yeah.
Uh, what is your nutrition challenge, or is there any nutrition challenge living the RV life in the
Mhm.
town you're in? And then how do you assist anybody who is not assist, but how do you coach anybody who's kind of having a problem hitting the nutritional component of what needs to happen? Because we all know, A, you can't outrun a bad diet, and B,
Yeah.
a good diet will serve or service the workout program.
Yes.
So a lot of people know the first half of the saying, but kind of don't publish or circulate enough of the second
Yeah.
half. So, how is it getting good nutrition? Again, I don't know the landscape, I don't know where you are. And then, you know, how do you help somebody or coach them if they go, well, I know, but I was at my sister's wedding. I had to have the cake, and the next day it was pasta night, and then it was Taco Tuesday. And so,
Yeah.
heavy
Yeah.
duty question.
I mean, yes, that is the issue, and that is something that a lot of my clients and just people in general, that's something we do struggle with. I kind of have a system for some of my clients, and this doesn't work with all of my clients. But I call it the red dot, green dot calendar. And it's something we usually use at the beginning before they might be fully ready for like actual macros and calorie tracking. I just give them some parameters. These are foods I want you to really focus on enjoying. These are ones I want you to have in moderation. I want you to try to get this much water. And if they do all those things, they just color their day green on their calendar. And then I usually give them a goal. So I'll say, I'm going to give you a goal of 5 red dots for the month. And those 5 red dots could be for the birthday party, the cake at the wedding, the unexpected bad day where you just say F it and you're going to get a pizza. So I try to kind of build that into their month and tell them, it's okay that those days come up. And it's all about kind of having that 80/20 lifestyle. So where we're kind of dialed in, we're really focused 80% of the time, but you still have to live your life and you shouldn't completely devoid yourself of the things that you enjoy in life. So there's definitely room for both in your nutrition plan. For myself personally, it has been a little bit of a struggle lately coming out of that bodybuilding show because that is so strict. There is no room for any fun at all, and it's not exactly the most healthy thing to do to yourself. Um, and coming out of it, I struggled. I definitely went overboard with the cakes and the cookies and the things, and because I had been so deprived of them for so long, and then definitely put on some weight, wasn't really happy with it, and I'm now working to fix that for myself. As far as being on the road, it's not too bad. We don't have children, so it's just my husband and I, and he's super easygoing. He goes along with whatever, he eats healthy or eats whatever I'm eating, or if I'm eating something special, he'll eat his own thing. So it's very easy for me to kind of meal prep for myself and kind of stay on track. Even in the RV, we've got an air fryer, we've got a crock pot, we've got all the things that I need, and I'm not a big fancy cook. I keep it pretty simple. It's a lot of chicken, broccoli, eggs, egg whites. So it's not too hard being on the road versus being at home by any means. It's almost sometimes easier on the road because I don't have my big group of friends around me constantly asking me to go to the winery or go do this or go do that. So in that sense, it's a little easier. But we still go out, we still enjoy ourselves. We still have usually like a weekly date night where we'll go do something, check out the town we're in.
Cool. Now,
Yeah,
same question, exercise and fitness version of the question. And I
yeah.
don't know what, are you utilizing a fitness center? Are you doing the outdoor thing? Is it body weight exercises? And then parlay that into the client who says, I don't have the means to fill in the blank, join a gym. I don't live near a gym. My gym doesn't have A, B, and C. But first,
Yeah.
tell us about you living that
Yeah.
RV.
So, I like to strength train. I'm a big lifter. Deadlift is my absolute favorite. So I'm picking a gym that I can deadlift in. I want a gym where I can slam my weights around. I want a gym where I can lift heavy. So wherever we go, I go and research all the gyms in the area, then I go tour them and we pick one. We found a pretty good one in a town that's about 30 minutes from here because we're kind of out in the country away from Kansas City, but we like the gym we picked. So yeah, it's very, very, very important to me to have a gym where I have access to barbells and plates and heavier lifting equipment. But we also hike a lot. So I walk my dogs a lot and we go outside and we hike. So always want to be in an area where we can get outdoors. Um, as far as clients, I can, work with anything. I have a lot of clients who don't go to gyms, they work out at home. Usually, when they start with me, if they don't have any equipment, I ask them to just get some bands. The long super band resistance bands, and then maybe one or two of the like glute bands that you put around like above your knees. And I can create a really great resistance based program using bands and body weight for those people. And most of those people, if they stay with me longer term, they usually buy, a dumbbell here and then another dumbbell there and then maybe a kettlebell. And, they start to kind of grow into wanting to do more because they really like it. They feel themselves getting stronger and they want to have that progressive overload. I have one client who is going into, I think, a year and a half to 2 years with me. She started out all body weight and she is now has bought for her basement a full like cables, barbells, everything. She has everything she could ever need in her basement. And she is currently in a powerlifting program. So she is deadlifting, squatting, and benching in her basement after just starting at body weight with me. So we can run the gamut. We can hit it all. And if I have clients at a gym, I just ask them to, tell me what kind of equipment they have in the gym. I know what most gyms have. And then when I write their programming, I tell them to go in and check it out. And if there's something that they see that their gym doesn't have, I just pop in and I make a modification for it. So super easy to work around anybody's, circumstances.
That's a that's a cool, inspiring story when you hear that somebody like caught the exercise
Yeah.
bug and they're like super
Yeah.
into it. They're buying their own stuff. Um,
Yeah. That same client you could tell in her like progress photos that she was just a little uncomfortable. And we've gotten to the point where she is flexing in her progress photos and you can see like the definition. It's amazing. So it's so fun to see that. It's really fun.
yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
What do gosh, what was I going to say? We had the client got the exercise equipment. Oh,
Hmm.
what do you like to do? Again, I personally for me, I feel like between me owning the company and having the background in exercise science, these are genuine questions. I just have to preface that into what do you like to do? There's no I
Yeah.
gotcha. I feel like, and at the conventions, there's a lot of like I gotcha moments when we're like, here you go, want to try a dive bar? And somebody's like, oh, it's 1 gram deficient of what I like. And we're like, okay. Or they're like, where is the whatever, where's the whole wheat flour sourced from? Is it this grain? I'm like, they don't tell me that. So I'm not
Yeah.
asking, there's no right or wrong. I want to know your style of training. What do you feel is important for somebody who's maybe starting, but their health condition or their weight, and I don't mean a uh, limiting or a medical health condition, but basically if their weight is exhausting them with very little exercise or maybe just
Hmm.
making them sore, hurting their joints, what do you
Hmm.
like to do? Is it like get it going every other day for 3, 4, 5 minutes? Or is it let's give you a workout, kick your butt for 15 to 20, and all right, maybe we'll be back on day three. And then, is it kind of the leapfrog, break it down, recover? And I've done both with everybody. I'm playing with myself right now because I got the corporate office weight.
Yeah.
What do you like to do if you have somebody who go, it hurts after
Mhm.
10 minutes? Like hurts bad.
Yeah.
My ass is whooped for 2 days.
Yeah. I mean, I like to definitely remind people that that's normal, especially when you first, either if you're first starting or even just coming back into it after being out of it for a while. It's super normal. Your body has to adjust. But I remind them that that'll get better the more they are moving. So we definitely don't want to give up right away or anything. But I always tell them to kind of take it at their own pace, do what they can do. And then we kind of just slowly increase from there. So if I have them in a program where I have them doing, 3 strength training workouts a week, if they can only get one in for a week or two and then we bump it up to two, that's fine. Or if the workout, they can only get through half of it to start, that's okay. Like just do something. And then, we really focus on a really good warm up and a really good cool down. So we always are doing our dynamic warm up. I'm talking to them about foam rolling. I'm talking to them about, those static stretches at the end of their workouts, triggering any sore areas. As far as joints hurting or clients coming to me with pain, we usually kind of run through it. I try to give them some like different joint mobilizations that they can do. And if those joint mobilizations aren't helping, I usually refer them out to a chiropractor or a massage therapist because, that's going to be beyond my scope of practice. But I haven't run into a whole lot of like serious injuries that we've had to work around. Um, I have had a client who had to take some time off due to an injury, but when they came back, we were able to just kind of slowly bring them back into things. But yeah, it's always just kind of take it at their own pace and we just slowly increase at their pace. So it's something with me. I do not have like I don't have this format where I'm like, weeks 1 and 2, we do this, and weeks 3 and 4, we do this. Like I don't have that. It's very much we're going to start wherever you're at and we're going to build to wherever you need to go at your own pace.
So, you know, kudos, commend you. That's
Yeah.
it's a great answer. Like I said, there was no right or wrong, but
Yeah.
you know, that's great. That's what it should be.
Hmm.
You mentioned the term scope of practice, and
Hmm.
that's a whole nother topic and a can of worms. Um,
Yeah.
in my training career, I probably didn't make as much money as I could have because I didn't really BS people enough. I didn't play, I listened to all the complaints and their drama and their social life, which is part of the fun. I was kind of out of the game right before the streaming and app based training,
Yeah.
remote training. So I was in a gym with people and you chat,
Yeah.
especially if you're doing strength training, right? There's a minute or
Oh
two
yeah.
between sets and you chat. But
Yeah.
I probably didn't make as much money as I could have because I didn't pretend to be their doctor, their chiropractor, their dietitian, and I'd give the permitted and advisable answers where I could, but 3 out of 4 times I said for myself, I might do A or B, but I'm not a fill in the blank. What's your experience and just kind of outlook? And it sounds like you worked in a busy gym. I don't want you to throw like ex colleagues under the bus, but do you find
Yeah.
that it's an industry? You could kind of speak to the industry in general because it's always been, um, a slippery slope, right? There's always been the snake oil people. There's the exercise
Yeah.
gadgets. There's, I grew up with Thigh Master and Suzanne Summers squeezing. She's doing a hip adduction with the little clothespin spring. Um,
Yeah.
so, what could you speak to that? And if somebody, I want to refer people to you at the conclusion of the pod, but if
Yeah.
somebody just goes, I don't do the streaming thing, I just really feel comfortable, I want to go to my local gym and meet with somebody twice a week,
Yeah.
what should they watch out for? What should they be informed of? What are the limitations that you feel a personal trainer, should be should recognize in terms of, someone shouldn't
Yeah.
say, eat this, not that. Meet me behind here. I'm going to
Yep.
sell you a powder. Let me stick this needle in your hiney cheek. Um,
Yeah.
let you
Um,
speak to the industry.
Sorry, you cut out a little bit there.
Oh, I was just, that's probably
Yeah.
God
So
intervened. I said, let me stick this needle in your butt cheek. And because there's sneaky trainers out there. That's when, yeah, that's, I say, God kill the audio right there.
it did cut it. Um, yeah, so definitely it is out of our scope of practice. As far as the nutrition side of things, we cannot prescribe, quote unquote, prescribe a meal plan. So I cannot tell them exactly what they should and shouldn't be eating or anything along those lines. That is for a registered dietitian to do. Um, but I think, I mean, it's definitely hard when you're first going into a gym to kind of know what to look for because it's just so hard until you get to know that person or that gym. But I would say, look at reviews of your gym. Um, and when you first walk in, you should be greeted by somebody. You should be like given a tour, and you can kind of tell by that tour if they care about what they're doing, if they know what they're talking about, or if they're just trying to sell you something, or if they don't really care, it's just a gym to them. I feel like I know with the gym I worked in, the owner was very much a part of the gym. Like every single person in that gym knew the owner and knew a lot about him. And he was just always there and he was always being himself. He was never trying to sell you on something. And you just like get that good vibe from that gym. The gym that I'm at now, and I won't say the name of them, but here in Missouri, you don't get that vibe. I don't think I would train with any of their trainers because I just don't feel that. I couldn't even tell you who the owners are. I think they're there sometimes. So, just get you kind of have to go by a vibe of the people in the gym and the trainers, and their education level. I think it's always okay to ask, how long have you been a trainer? What is your experience? What kind of education do you have? What kind of certifications do you have? Like, I don't think it's out of line to ask those questions when you're something so important as your health is going to be in their hands and you're going to be taking advice from them.
Cool. And so on that topic, what is, again, this is my curious old school mind. What is your experience and your journey to becoming a trainer? I don't know how long you have been one, and tell the folks what's
Mhm.
involved, what you've studied, the means. Was there a book with paper? Is it an online thing? I don't know it's been
Yeah.
a minute for me.
So I was lucky to come out of getting a degree in like a medical field as occupational therapy assistant. We did a lot of, I already knew a lot of the muscles and the body mechanics, anatomy. So coming from that world into this world, I had a little bit of a leg up, but I did do an online certification through International Sports Scientists ISSA Association. It was a lot of online modules, some like case studies. There was an exam at the end, lots of book reading, stuff like that. I also got my nutrition certification through them, and I also did yoga specialist through them, which after I did it, I realized that I am too obnoxious to teach yoga. I'm not chill enough. I like to take yoga, but not so good at teaching it. I'm too upbeat, but I loved teaching group class, like teaching a spin class. That's my jam. Um, but honestly, I think I learned the most at the gym I worked at. So I think they kind of took a chance on me. They saw something in me when they hired me as a new trainer, and I worked there for over 3 years, and I learned more than you could ever learn from schooling from this group of elite trainers. And that was something I liked about the gym is they were very specific in who they hired, how they trained you, what kind of training you got on the floor. We had, at the beginning, you have a weekly meeting with the head trainer who gives, all kinds of information and case studies and practice. And then going from that, even once you're an established trainer, you still meet with everybody, like you'd meet with the head trainer once a month and we'd have a group huddle every single week. So we were just very much involved, and we always had like trainer seminars monthly where we were learning something new. We did hands-on stretching with all of our clients. We were always learning new stretching techniques. Um, so I learned the most in person, and that's how I learn best, is doing something in person. For virtual training, I did take another certification as a online virtual coach through OFNC and learned a lot from them too. It was a really great program to go through. So it's it's a tough field because anybody can go online and get their certification and call themselves a trainer. So again, I just think you really need to look into people's experience and where they got that experience, to know that you can kind of trust, what they're saying and what they're doing.
Right. Do you you're recalling the gym experience kind of brought me back to my days in a gym. And do you, um, I guess for lack of fancier term, do you miss the experience and the camaraderie? Because I kind of was going like, oh,
Yeah.
I learned I learned, I got a certification and then I got my first gym job. And it's like you hear like, oh yeah, could do law school for this many years and then you don't know crap until you become a lawyer and you work in an
Yeah.
office and you're a lawyer for 2 or 3 years and then you start to know. And that's kind of what it
Hmm.
was with being a trainer. Do you miss the
Yeah.
camaraderie and the setting? Do you enjoy it? You know,
Yeah. Yeah, I missed it a lot. I mean, that gym and the people who worked there were my family. And like I said, they were very careful about who they hired, and it was an elite level group of trainers. So there was not a lot of turnaround. We were a tight group and we were all there all the time, and they just become your family. And the people in the gym, when you build that kind of a community in a gym like that, especially in a small town, the everybody who comes into that gym becomes part of that gym family. And you learn people, you learn their life stories. Like you said, training with somebody on the floor, you're talking because there are rests in between sets or whatever. So, I mean, my clients got to know me forward and backwards. I got to know them. I'm still friends with a lot of them. They're still reaching out to me. I have clients who have transferred to other trainers who reach out to me and tell me, like, oh, I got this much more on my deadlift today, and I did this with so and so today. So, you really, really form those bonds, and that I do. I miss it a lot. It's a really probably the hardest part about moving is that. But Wisconsin just wasn't our place to be, so we moved on. But I'm sure I'll go back and visit and see everybody. I'm still in the group chat, so I'm still talking to all of them.
go in the summer.
Yes,
So
definitely in
thankful.
the summer. Yeah.
Um, what is the what kind of guidance or excuse me, what would you say to the person who's maybe getting frustrated that, say they've been training with yourself or again, the person that's the unknown person out there and it's been
Yeah.
30 days and they've dropped 3 pounds or 2 pounds and what's your insight to, it could go this is carte blanche. What, you could say get
Yeah.
your butt in gear or you could say, hey, everybody's different and let's step back and look at the big picture. But let me because I quantified that and I didn't really mean to. Somebody says I'm not dropping the pounds like I want to,
Yeah.
so we'll take it from there. And
Yeah. I
you
was gonna
agree that
say,
it's maybe a little subpar. They share the numbers with you, and you find that it's a little subpar. So
yeah.
now that's your scenario.
Hmm. Well, honestly, most of the time there's a reason. There's going to be a reason. Either it's going to be that they are not, kind of hitting that 80% consistency with their protocols. Maybe they are not being super honest with me or themselves about what they're doing or what they're eating. Um, a lot of the times it's going to be that they just aren't quite there. They aren't quite dialed in with the nutrition. It's almost always the nutrition side of things that is stalling progress. And it's the hardest part for people. And it could be a wide range of things. It could be that they weren't logging super accurately. And then I say, I don't know why we're where we are because I can't see what you're eating every day. And I have to know what you're eating so that I can figure out what's going on. So just really making it clear to them that they need to be super honest because there's no judgment. I just have to be able to see what's going on because then I can figure out what the problem is. But we also look at things besides food and exercise intensity. There's going to be how much movement are you getting? Um, are you really having, like, are you just going through the motions, or are you getting that mind muscle connection? Are you really connecting with your workout? But we look at all kinds of biofeedback. When I go through their weekly check-ins, we are not only talking about nutrition and their fitness, but we are talking about their sleep. We are talking about any medication changes or supplement changes they're making. We are talking about their stress levels, um, you know, women, time of the month, like all kinds of things, vacation, heavy leg day. Like there are so many things that could cause inflammation, cause, all sorts of reasons that the scale might be doing something or another. So we look at things, or I should say, I look at things over a very broad spectrum. And almost always, as far currently, all my clients, the only reason they are not progressing is they know why. Like they don't actually question why. They know why already. And I just have to remind them that, why do you think XYZ is happening? They're like, well, I could do better on XYZ. Like, okay, well, how are we going to make that happen? So the thing is, people are not stupid. They know what's going on. I give them the tools and they have to be willing to make it happen. And sometimes they just need that little extra boost. And sometimes we have a month or two where it's slower progress, and usually they know why. So, um, a couple times we've had to have a chat where I just say, like, what do you want? What is your goal? How badly do you want it? And where are you at as far as making that change? If I gave you a scale of 1 to 10, honestly, where are you at as far as being ready to make change? Are you just in the stages of contemplating change? Um, or are you actually at a stage where you're ready to make the change? So just a lot of introspection with my clients. I make them think a lot.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You mentioned sleep, and
Hmm.
just to speak to the sleep, I'll let you, share your thoughts in a second. But one gym job I had, to my dismay, I had the 6 a.m. It was kind of a strange. Most gyms are kind of autonomous. You got your clients, you can schedule them. This gym, it was a weird kind of, the people purchased like a training package, and we were all semi interchangeable. Like they might like you and try to request you, but you could also just end up with John or the other person. And
Mm.
so I was a new guy. I had the 6 a.m. training shifts, right? Like 6 to 1 or 6 to 2. And because you might have someone else as your trainer a different day or a different week, we had almost like medical folders. Although a trainer should always kind of log their client's performance, right? But we had
Yeah.
like a clipboard with actually like folders, like it was a doctor's file. So you go like, oh, I have Mr. Smith today. Let me take out his thing, put him on the clipboard. And a lot of times in that 6 a.m. session, the client, it was like 50-50 if they could do as many reps for any given weight on a given exercise. It was like 50-50 if they could match or beat what they had been doing. It was like sometimes you're just like, what
Sure.
what happened? You did 12 reps earlier in the week and now you're huffing and puffing, you're fatiguing at 7. And I would say, it's like 6:15 in the morning. I'm like, how'd you sleep today? What time did you get up? How'd you sleep last night? And they're like, oh, I actually slept like crap. This is on my mind, or I had indigestion,
Yeah.
or whatever the issue. And I go, okay, well, you have to try to get some sleep, work on that. Again, not your shrink or your medical doctor and dietitian,
Yeah.
but you're telling me you came here on 5 hours of sleep, 5.5 hours of sleep, and then the next thing out of your mouth, yes, you usually like to get 7.5, 7 hours and 40 minutes. And the performance isn't there. You see it in the numbers immediately. And people,
Yeah.
no pun intended, they sleep on the value of sleep. Go.
Yeah.
That's where you talk about it.
Yeah. Sorry, you cut out a little bit on the end.
Oh, I
I don't
said,
know.
well, my finest lines. I go, no pun intended. They sleep on the value of sleep. Take it
Oh
away.
yeah.
And
Yes. Yeah, sleep is so important. I don't think anybody realizes how much it can really impact everything from our stress level to our energy levels to even weight gain. Like if you are not getting adequate sleep, your body's going to hold on to body fat, especially around the midsection. Like that's just what is going to happen chemically in your body. And it's so important to get enough sleep and to get quality sleep. Um, And yeah, for sure, there are some people who are morning people and they get enough sleep and they can do that 6 a.m. workout. I used to teach a 5:30 a.m. class and those people killed it. But you could always tell the person who normally came to 5:30 p.m. class and had to come to 5:30 a.m. that day, they were like dead walking. So everybody has their own kind of schedule, but sleep is highly important. And I have a bunch of different things that I'll talk to my clients about as far as ways to improve their sleep, like going to bed and getting up at the same time every day, even if it's a weekend, like that has to be routine for your body. Um, studies show that the bedroom needs to be dark and it needs to be cold. So not having a TV on and making sure that the temperature is low. So if you're a little chilly, add an extra blanket, but you really need that colder air temperature. Not being on our devices. I usually remind my clients if they're going to check their phones, do it out in the living room and then turn your phone off. Just set your alarm, bring it in, plug it in. Don't be on it. Read a book or listen to a podcast or something along those lines if you need to. And then white noise, so like a fan or something along those lines, is usually helpful. And then it can also kind of depend on what they're eating. So we always talk about carbs. Carbs in the morning give us energy for our day, but carbs at night help us sleep. And I think a lot of people are like, you shouldn't eat right before you go to bed, or you shouldn't eat carbs at night. And personally, there's a lot of different research on that, but personally, I don't think that that's the case. I think that it doesn't matter what time you eat. It's all just calories in and calories out and macros in and macros out. You can certainly eat before you go to bed, and having some carbs and having that nice full stomach usually leads to better sleep. I know when I was prepping for that show, sorry, hey, when I was prepping for that show and I was on my really, really low calories, I was sleeping terribly almost every night. And I was a mess in the gym. I couldn't lift anything. And that had to do with the deprivation of calories, but also the sleep quality. So sleep is very, very important, more important than a lot of people realize. But it's something we tackle immediately with my clients. So if you came to any of my clients and asked them about their sleep, they're all going to be like, I go to bed right at this time and I get up at this time and it's nice and quiet because they all know I have like drilled it into them by now.
Yeah, yeah, it's very important.
Yeah.
Um, we'll bring it home soon because we're at 43 minutes. But so you mentioned
Yeah.
the calories in, the calories out. Let's segue into, obviously we know you because you're on the dive bar team. Um,
Yeah.
Dive bars are kind of created with the, fit the macros, fit the calories, work it in. It's obviously
Hmm.
it's not made with apples and broccoli. Uh, so
Yeah. Well,
refresh all of our memories. How did you find the bars? Did we send you some? Did you see others talking about it? And then where do they
yeah.
fit into your day and your diet? How do you enjoy a dive bar?
Yeah. So I found Dive Bar, I don't even know how long, years ago. It's been years, 5 or 6 years ago. I don't know how old you guys are as a company, but it was a while ago. Um, and it was in my stage. Sorry, it's raining here like a lot, and I don't know if that's really loud for you. I hope it's not.
No,
um,
I didn't hear much.
Rain's really loud in an RV, so. Um, but yeah, it was back when I was still first getting into all of this, and I hated protein powder and protein bars. Hated them. I was like, I can't eat this. It tastes like chalk. I can't do it. I would like gag trying to chug a protein shake. It was horrible. And I don't remember who it was, but somebody on Instagram was sharing pictures of dive bars, and I like, everybody shares protein bars, and you try them, and they're all trash. And I just like kind of didn't think anything of it, but she kept sharing and there would always be the different flavors. And I'm like a big switch up the flavors kind of person. Like that's my absolute favorite thing about dive bars is all the different seasonal flavors. Um, so I kept seeing them, kept seeing them. I was like, okay, I got to try these. So I know I bought my very first ones were the mini bars because I was
Okay.
skeptical. And I think I bought the divorce cake and the dump truck brownie. There might have been another one. Um, and I just remember I was like, my gosh, these are actually really good. And the macros are not bad on these. Like I can actually eat these. And I was so pumped about it. So then I think I bought my first like seasonal flavors and like lost my mind because the seasonal ones are like the best. So ever since then, like, I've gotten better about protein. Like my taste buds have changed now that I eat a little healthier, but the dive bar is still a staple. Every single day I have one. And I tell everybody about them. Like it was so funny. We did a social media post at that gym I worked at in Baraboo, and we posted all the trainers, put a picture of their favorite protein bar up on the wall, and you had to guess which trainer had the favorite bar. Nobody knew anybody's except mine. Everybody was like, "Oh, Emily, that's dive bar." Everybody knew. That's super funny. But yeah, I just, the flavor is there. The flavor changes are super fun. Like that just makes it fun. The like consistency of them, like that they're not like super hard and crunchy, but they're also not like so formed. Like you get them and they're kind of like melty and bendy and
Mhm.
crumbly because there's stuff in them. Like they're just really good all around. I'm a big fan, obviously.
Yeah, we're glad you like them. What
Yeah.
do you, how do you place it in your day? Is there a role for the dive bar, or is it morning, noon, or night, whenever?
Um, Usually not night with the caffeine. But usually it's before my workout. So I'll grab one since we live kind of further out from our gym here. I have about a 30-minute commute into my gym, so I'll eat one on the way to the gym is my typical go-to. Um, Sometimes I'll have one earlier if I'm going to the gym a little later in the day for the caffeine reason. I'll just eat it earlier in the day. If it's a day that I'm not going to the gym, I'll just have it whenever I feel like it in the afternoon. If it's a day I'm going on a hike, I'll bring one on a hike for sure. Um, yeah, so sometimes I work them around my workouts, but usually it's just sometime midday I'll have one. Or if I'm just like craving a candy bar, if I really want like a candy bar, I'll be like, nope, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna have my dive bar. We're gonna be good. I'll get my protein and stuff in, not have all that sugar. So I use them for that too.
Yeah, well, and that's been one of the most interesting parts as we meet. Um, I hate even using the word customers. I usually call them supporters or, make friends of the company. Not them calling
Yeah,
you a customer, but people we meet, right, at conventions and retreats and things. Um, but we meet them and we hear every different answer to that kind of a question. Well, they just will, I'll go, oh, yeah, hi, nice to meet you. And it's, I have this in the morning at 5 a.m. when I start
you cut
my
out again, but
construction.
hopefully
Oh, hey, can
there
you
you
hear
go.
me? We hear every different sort of
Yes, I can
explanation of
now.
how dive bars fit into people's life from 5 a.m. when they wake up to it's a
Yes,
midday thing, it's a pre workout thing. So it's always interesting to me to hear, you know,
yeah,
the feedback or kind of the what the product means to someone like yourself. Um,
yeah.
we're at 48 minutes. It's time for you to tell the dive bar world the social media handle, the website, how do they train with you, what can they look forward to. You do
Yeah.
you. Go.
Yeah, absolutely. So Instagram, I do have a business Instagram, which is at Body Freedom Coaching. But I do most of all of my stuff on my like actual fitness account, which is at Emily Ihnen CPT. So it's my first and last name,
Hold on, I'm sorry, one second,
Ihnen, and
Emily.
then
You cut
CPT.
out.
So
I just want you to
oh
say that
no,
again because you cut out. I'm not sure what it caught, and
yeah,
that's the important part. Start from the
yeah.
top.
So
Business
Instagram,
Instagram.
Instagram handle, business one is at Body Freedom Coaching. But I do most of my stuff on my other one, which is at Emily Ihnen CPT. And that's my first and last name, and then CPT. And my last name is IHNEN. And then I do have a website for people to check out. It's www.bodyfreedomcoaching.net. So not .com. Lots of people get that wrong. It's .net. Um, but it has tons of information on my website, and it has a bunch of links where you can click and have a free consult with me. It's totally free, no strings attached. I'm not salesy at all. I'm just going to talk with people about their goals and, see if we would even be a good fit. I am very, very much a believer in you and your coach should have a relationship. You should have a fit that works well together. So I'm never going to be like super pushy or super salesy because if they don't want to work with me, I don't want to work with them either. So very, very important to me that I'm not pushy or salesy. So you will never have to worry about that with a free consult. But yeah, I do most of my stuff on that Instagram, the Emily Ihnen CPT. So that would be the best way to find me, or like I said, through the website.
Awesome. Let's do. Probably should have done this right before that, but I want to do.
You're
Can you
cutting
hear
out a
me?
little bit.
Okay. I'm going to do the speed round to get to
Yes,
know
I can now.
Emily. Okay. Speed round. Uh, close-ended questions. 1 minute. Would let everyone at home know these are your personal answers for fun. It's not reflective of your training style.
Okay,
Obviously, I believe you to be quite a skilled trainer, and that involves getting to know the
thank
client,
you.
their needs, and then executing to get that goal accomplished. and it's different for everyone.
Yeah.
You've said that yourself in the last 45 plus minutes. But speed
Yeah, for
round,
sure.
preferred form of cardio. Go. Yours.
Hiking. Hiking.
Okay. All right. Uh, preferred style of strength training, meaning body weights, dumbbells, barbells, pulleys, Nautilus style
Barbells.
barbells. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, I think you mentioned the answer before, but I was going to say your favorite lift.
Deadlift. Love a deadlift.
Love the deadlift. Shoes on or shoes
Hmm.
off?
Shoes on if I've got good flat shoes.
Okay. Um, the thing that you do the least
You
but
cut out
enjoy
again.
within fitness, the thing you do the least, or the method of exercising and working out that you do the least but then find yourself saying, oh, I like that. I forgot I enjoyed doing such and such.
I think I probably take group classes the least, but when I do them, I remember that I really enjoy them and they're really fun. But I do them the least. I don't know if it's just not fitting it into my schedule or prioritizing my lifts, but that'd probably be that.
Okay. Last question. Guilty pleasure or guilty treat or cheat day or
Mm,
whatever the term you might care to use. Favorite snack.
yeah.
And
I'm a big
I'm not
sweet
trying
tooth.
to say dive bars. I mean, if you like a
No,
rack of ribs or a Haagen-Dazs, what's the real answer?
yeah. I'm a big sweet tooth person, so it's probably going to be like donuts or brownies or crumble cookie or something, or along the lines of a food, it would definitely probably be like a huge, really cheesy pizza. Those would be my
Okay.
go-tos.
Good answers. All right.
Yeah.
Well, we know where to find you.
Yeah.
Everyone, get off your butts. Give her a shout. She'll give you a free consultation. Thank you, Emily, for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It was so fun.
I hope we inspired a few people. And if we left any stones unturned, DM her. Can we say that?
Yes.
DM you and you'll
Yes,
set them
absolutely.
on the
Reach
right
out.
course. Cool. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Emily. Have a good night.